Can I share this table? Asked the one-leg alien girl to the human single dad, then he said, Of course, please sit down. Daniel looked up from his cold synthetic coffee, his tired eyes meeting the most unusual sight he'd encountered in the orbital station's cafeteria. The girl standing before him had luminescent purple skin that shimmered like oil on water, and where her left leg should have been, there was only empty space beneath her hip. She'd balanced perfectly on her single leg, defying every law of physics Daniel thought he understood. Her eyes were large and golden, with vertical pupils that contracted as she studied him with equal curiosity. "Thank you," she said, her voice carrying a melodic quality that reminded Daniel of wind chimes. She gracefully lowered herself into the chair across from him. Her movements fluid and unnaturally elegant. Daniel's 6-year-old daughter, Jassy, looked up from her coloring tablet, her eyes widening with wonder. "Daddy, she's so pretty," she whispered, though not quietly enough. The alien girl smiled, revealing teeth that were slightly too white and perfectly uniform. "And you are beautiful too, little one." "My name is Zyla. What's yours?" "I'm Jassy," his daughter announced proudly, immediately forgetting her shyness. "This is my daddy, Daniel. We live on Deck 7. Where do you live?" Daniel felt his chest tighten. They lived on Deck 7, the refugee section, where humans displaced by the Confederation Wars made their temporary homes in cramped quarters, waiting for relocation permits that never seemed to come. He wondered what this alien girl must think of them. "I live nowhere, currently," Zyla replied, her golden eyes dimming slightly. "I'm traveling between systems, looking for work. I was a gravitational engineer on my homeworld before." She gestured to her missing leg, "before the accident." "What happened?" Jassy asked with the brutal honesty only children possess. "Jassy, that's not polite," Daniel began, but Zyla raised a 3-fingered hand. "It's all right. I don't mind." She leaned closer to Jassy as if sharing a secret. "I was working on a quantum drive system when there was a containment failure. The gravitational waves that escaped were strong enough to tear apart anything in their path. I was lucky I only lost my leg. 7 of my colleagues weren't so fortunate." Daniel felt a pang of recognition. He understood loss. His wife, Maria, had died 2 years ago during a mining colony collapse on Europa. Since then, it had been just him and Jassy, struggling to survive in a universe that seemed increasingly hostile to ordinary people. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "That must have been terrible." Zyla's pupils dilated, a gesture Daniel instinctively understood as acknowledgement. "And you? What brings a human father and daughter to Station Kepler 442? Daniel sighed, running his hand through his graying hair. "Work, or the hope of it anyway. I'm a systems technician. Was, back on Earth. Now I'm just another refugee trying to get certified for station work. The Galactic Confederation has different standards, different technologies. Everything I knew is obsolete." "Not obsolete," Zyla corrected gently. "Different. There's wisdom in old systems, elegance in simplicity. The newest isn't always the best." Jassy had grown bored with the adult conversation and returned to her coloring, creating fantastic creatures in swirls of neon colors. Zyla watched her with fascination. "She's remarkably creative," the alien girl observed. "Does she study biodesign?" Daniel laughed bitterly. "She's 6. She doesn't study anything formal. Can't afford the education programs. She just colors. It makes her happy." Zyla tilted her head, a gesture that seemed both alien and strangely familiar. "May I?" she asked, gesturing toward Jassy's tablet. Jassy looked to her father, who nodded. The girl proudly showed her creations: impossible animals with too many wings, plants that seemed to breathe, landscapes that defied geometry. "Extraordinary," Zyla whispered. "Your daughter has an intuitive understanding of multidimensional space. Look here," she pointed to a creature Jassy had drawn with spiraling limbs. "She's rendered a being that could theoretically exist in folded spacetime. And this plant structure would be perfectly viable in a high-gravity environment." Daniel leaned forward, squinting at his daughter's doodles. "You're saying these aren't just random drawings?" "Nothing is random," Zyla said firmly. Your daughter sees reality differently, perhaps more completely than most. On my world, she would be identified as a spatial intuitive someone who can perceive and conceptualize dimensions beyond the standard three. Daniel felt his heart race. Could this be true? Could Jassy have some kind of special ability? Or was this alien girl just being kind? Why are you telling me this? He asked carefully. Zyla met his eyes, and for the first time, Daniel saw vulnerability in her alien features. Because I recognize desperation when I see it. You're not just looking for work, you're looking for hope. A reason to believe that surviving matters. She paused. I know that feeling. After I lost my leg, after I lost my team, I thought my career was over. But then I realized that limitation forces innovation. I can't stand the way I used to, so I learned to manipulate gravity fields to support myself. I can't work with my hands the way I once did, so I learned to interface directly with quantum systems through neural connections. She leaned forward, her golden eyes intense. What I'm saying is this: I need an assistant. Someone who understands basic systems, someone who can learn. And your daughter, she needs proper training. The institute where I'm heading next, the Kepler Research Collective, has programs for gifted children. I have influence there. I could get her admitted. Full scholarship. Daniel felt tears pricking at his eyes. Why? Why would you help us? You don't even know us. Zyla smiled, and this time it reached her strange, beautiful eyes. Because someone helped me once when I was broken and alone. A human engineer, actually. He didn't have to. He gained nothing from it. But he saw someone in need and chose kindness. She gestured around the cafeteria, at the mix of species, humans, aliens, and everything in between, all struggling to survive in the vast emptiness of space. Out here, we're all refugees from something. We're all missing pieces of ourselves. The question isn't why help, it's why not. Jassy looked up from her tablet, sensing the emotional weight in the air. Daddy, are you crying? Daniel wiped his eyes quickly. No, sweetie. I'm just happy. He extended his hand across the table to Zella, a gesture that transcended species. When do we start? The alien girl grasped his hand with her 3 fingers, her grip surprisingly strong. Tomorrow. But tonight, let's just sit here together. 3 beings in an infinite universe sharing a table. That's enough for now. As the artificial lights of the station dimmed to simulate evening, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in years: possibility. The future was still uncertain, still frightening. But for the first time since Maria's death, he wasn't facing it alone. Jassy returned to her coloring, now drawing what looked like 3 figures holding hands: 1 tall human, 1 small human, and 1 with shimmering purple skin and a single leg. In her childish way, she had captured something profound, that families aren't always defined by biology, and that hope could be found in the most unexpected encounters. Can I share this table? Zyla had asked, but really, Daniel thought, she had offered so much more than that. She had offered them a future, the end.